Dr. Anthony Fauci is slamming his critics, accusing them of being anti-science. Our next guest is firing back, arguing the only one ignoring science is Dr. Fauci. GOP Senator Rand Paul sits on the Senate Health Committee, joins us now and has sparred quite often with Mr. Science. Senator, first off, that's like if people criticize me saying you just don't like talk show hosts or you just don't like senators if they criticize you. What kind of ego is this to say I represent science?
It's sort of a way of ending all debate, because if you attack him or have any debate over any of his edicts or his mandates, you're attacking science. But this is a very, very dangerous sort of idea. The idea that a government bureaucrat represents science and that he is now untouchable, that it is sort of like you are now contradicting the all-high priest of science if you say anything. But there are real questions, and there's real areas of science that he's never really debated because he deflects. One area is over 100 million Americans have had COVID. They have natural immunity. There's a real question about whether they should be vaccinated once, twice, or not at all. And the thing is, there's never been a debate because he's the all-powerful scientist. You're not to question him, just do as you're told. So with him, it's more about submission. But most of his edicts are not based in science. Whether kids should wear masks in school is a very debatable subject and ought to be debated. In Sweden, no kids wear masks. 1.8 million kids. They haven't worn masks in school at all for the last 2 years, and they haven't had any deaths. And you say, well, what about the teachers? Well, it turns out the teachers don't get COVID at a greater rate than the rest of the public. So it turns out maybe we don't have to have our kids in masks. Shouldn't we have a debate? No. Dr. Fauci says he is the all-powerful Oz, and we shouldn't question him. That's a real problem in a free country.
He has a specific problem with you and Senator Cruz. For Senator Cruz, he said, what happened on January 6th? What does a doctor care about what happens on January 6th or 7th or 5th? I mean, what does that tell you where his mind is at? Clearly, you're under his skin.
It shows you that he's a rank partisan, but you know, you've seen how he pushes back now. He just calls everyone else liars. So there's large randomized studies. There's a study from Denmark, y'all have reported on it, on masks. 6,000 people with masks, 6,000 people without masks. It turns out they both had the same incidence of disease. 80% of those getting COVID today are wearing a mask most of the time. So there's a question, should we be mandating something? Every state, province, or country that mandated mask wearing, not one of them showed the trajectory of the disease going down. The disease kept doing what it wanted. The only thing that affects this disease are vaccines and also natural immunity. But the one thing they're ignoring, if he wants to talk about the science, the current vaccine's not working very well. It worked very well in April of May of this year when cases went down to less than 10,000 a day, but it's not working very well. They have a Delta variant vaccine. They've had it for months. How come they're not producing it? How come it's not out there? Are we going to need a new vaccine? Finally, the head of Moderna is saying, yes, we're probably going to need a new vaccine. But that's what we should be talking about. How come we don't get a new vaccine every year or so, the way we do for the flu? And how do we make it easier for a new vaccine? They criticize Trump to death for his bringing forward the vaccine within a year. They've done nothing to bring forward a new vaccine. They just keep telling us to wear a mask and other things that don't work.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci takes credit for that vaccine now. It's amazing. Real quick, you have the supply chain crisis. The president canceled a presser on this. Are we doing enough to stop this, to help this crisis?
I think it's most important that people know that it seems to be a supply chain crisis that seems to be mostly in heavily regulated California. People need to realize that when you try to put out of business independent contractors like Lyft, Uber, and independent truckers, that it's a problem. You can't drive a truck into California that has an engine older than 2010. They're like Nazis when it comes to looking at your log to make sure you're obeying the edicts on how many hours you drive. So truckers don't go to California. So truckers are in other places. There has to be a reason why there doesn't seem to be this problem in Florida or doesn't seem to be this problem on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Senator Rand Paul, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.